Hi, this is Crystal from Castaway with Crystal, and today I'm in Cappadocia in Turkey, and I'm going to show you the 7 things that you must try out while you're here. Cappadocia is located in the center of Turkey in semi-arid region. It's most famous for its spectacular landscape and distinctive fairy chimneys. Tourists flock to this UNESCO World Heritage Site to see the lunar-like mushroom-shaped rocks. They were formed by erosion of volcanic sediments that later solidified into the rock tufts. The winds then eroded the rock's surface, leaving the rocks looking as they do today. Most of the rocks are soft enough to be dug out, and the early inhabitants of Cappadocia would carve shelters out of the rock. Now there are thousands of cave churches, houses and temples that you can explore. 1. Take a hot air balloon ride over the gorgeous scenery. What better way to start off your stay in Cappadocia than with a hot air balloon ride to soak up the full extent of the unique landscape. Floating above the honeycombed scenery is like coming in for a landing on the moon. Rides generally go for around 45 minutes and begin during the twilight to see the sun come up over the mountain ranges nearby. Balloons only leave in the morning before sunrise to harness the stillness of the air. 2. Go horse riding in the land of beautiful horses. Derived from a Persian word, Cappadocia translates to the land of beautiful horses. And today's sturdy horses are probably the best natural guides to lead you through the canyons and legends which linger in the mists of time. We were lucky enough to see the first snowfall in Cappadocia and took our horse riding tour just after the snow had settled. This meant we got to be up and close to the amazing natural landscape on our horses in the snow. Riding the beautiful horses around the unique Cappadocian landscape will be an unforgettable experience. Tour groups are usually small and you can model your riding tour with your guide. 3. Ride over sand dunes on the ATV tour. This adrenaline-filled adventure tour is definitely one for the thrill seekers. I had so much fun on this tour. Drive the quad bikes crazy but safely around the fairy chimneys and over giant sand dunes. You'll see amazing views and have the time of your life. On the tour, you'll see the girls' monastery, where you can jump off and have a look. You'll also swing past the abandoned village, which I'll talk about later. I did the sunset tour, which ended at an epic viewpoint just as the sun dipped down behind the mountains. Bloody gorgeous. 4. Take on one of the many hiking trails. People travel to Cappadocia from all over the world to do some of the 5-star hiking trails that they have around here. Hikes range from a couple of hours to full days where there is a lot to see. All of the hikes are free and easy to access from Warriyo. Now for a little bit about my 2 favorite hikes. First up, Pigeon Valley. The name relates to the thousands of pigeon houses carved from the soft rocks of the chimneys and mountainsides. In ancient times, pigeons were used as a form of communication and their dung was used as fertilizer. Winding through a valley, the trek is relatively straightforward, although we still managed to get lost. So we made the best of it and explored a little more. Back on track and the scenery was just awesome. It takes just a couple of hours, and if you're leaving from Warriyo, you'll end up in Uchasa, where you can explore the castle. Next is the Swords Valley hike. Swords Valley has the highest concentration of fairy chimneys in the whole of Cappadocia. The short hike only takes a couple of hours in theory, but joins up to Rose Valley and Red Valley, so you can make a whole day of it if you like. Scramble through a 300-metre tunnel and wind through a narrow ravine. There are 2 well-preserved Byzantine churches too, as well as loads of abandoned cave houses to explore. 5. Stay in a cave hotel. Staying in a cave hotel is an absolute must when you travel to Cappadocia. With hundreds of family houses being turned into hotels, there are lots to choose from, but I'm going to talk about the cave hotel that I stayed in and why it was so awesome. Tulip Cave Suites was originally an old cave house built inside a 5th century early Christian chapel. Tulip is in a prime location on the top of the town with breathtaking views of the valley and of course the hot air balloons. 6. Explore an abandoned village. We talked about this earlier. There are loads of abandoned villages in Cappadocia, but the one we visited was during the ATV tour. It's called Shavushin Village. At the beginning of the 20th century, the village housed many Christian Orthodox families. In 1924, there was a population exchange between the Greek and Turkish people. This is a little township that up until about 1960 was inhabited by local people, and then there was an earthquake in 1960 and everyone had to leave and they've just moved to the town underneath. 7. Visit an underground city. Do you know the whole region of Cappadocia contains hundreds of historical underground cities? These cities were carved out of the ancient volcanic ash to be used as living quarters, hiding places, stables, and for storing food and wine. I visited the underground city of Derinkuyu. It was large enough to house up to 20,000 people and was about 85 meters deep, with winding tunnels, kitchens, staircases, and emergency doors.